Hey, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is going to be a Scorpio rising video. I hope you all are doing tremendous. So, start off right off the bat, Scorpios. I want us to get centered, get grounded. If we're not, I want us to start doing yoga. I want us to practice stretching. Does that mean you have to do a certain type of yoga, have a certain type of philosophy, and take it to the most extreme that you can? If you do not naturally, organically do that every day already, please do not try to add something to your already chaotic lifestyle. I don't understand that trend, but Scorpio, it's up to you to start a new trend. Do not focus on what everyone else is focusing on, because everyone else is focusing on things that they are not doing consistently. It's a way of them being able to, I don't care if they, yeah, back in the days they did XYZ and make up a million excuses on why they're not doing what they're doing now. We are here and we are present, and they are not. And your focus is going to be on you and how you can create routines and regimens. Oh, apparently this is going to be the reading. Based on what you're already doing in your life. Not, I used to do this and I'm going to introduce it again to my life. If you want to slowly take on a new hobby, great. A hobby is something that you need to build at. Therefore, you can't get discouraged if you're not doing it regularly. We're talking about something that we can add 5 days a week to our already regular routine and go from there. Okay? Okay. I should. This is supposed to be a reading. I feel like I should be doing a class right now. Based on the classes that I've already mentioned, but okay, we're gonna add some aura stuff to this reading since we're apparently going here. Okay. So I'm laughing because I feel like spirits always are you gonna do a reading? And I'm like, no. Because I'm just happy in my vibe. And I feel like readings get taken over by other energies that don't affect me. I choose try to not really worry about things that are happening around me. So I finally agreed to do it, and then I feel like Spirit's like, oh good, you're here. P.S. Can you do this? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But here we are. So, and I am going to rotate the not seeing me and just hearing my voice and seeing me. I do need to start talking slower, I know. But I kind of like the balance of both because that is me. Actually, correction, I do not need to do anything different than what I'm doing. I've realized I like the rhythm better when it moves slower. However, at this stage of my life, it is not slow by any means. So I do understand what that and respect myself to know that I'm just keeping up with the rhythms that are happening around me. And so we'll just kind of rotate both. It didn't get any more. And even all of a sudden, if it did, because I said this video, I wouldn't. I'm just going to rotate both because it definitely isn't any different than my ones that went viral. And those are ones you just sit and stare at me. So, okay. So let's look. What is it? We've already. The spirit wanted me. I have a lot of things I'm supposed to be already on here for, but my life went from like, literally I took a sabbatical for like a year because I'm blessed enough to be able to allow myself to do that. And now it's like literally hit the ground running. I'm a little, like a little overwhelmed to say the minimum. So I thought a long time from these. Okay, so we're gonna talk about chakras. Okay. And I feel like this is part of what we're talking about. I should be doing another class on this one day. But here we go for now, okay? So, as you guys can see, I have tons of different classes and guys on different things. I've done a ton. That's one thing I actually do is aura cleansing, energy pulls. Like I do all of that within a reading, which is very nice. There's just too many things to talk about. I also do herbal readings that kind of allow people to know what herbs and or what manifestations and or any of that and all of that. So since I do so many different little things, what I'm trying to do here is be able to take little parts of those things that I'm doing, and kind of put them for you guys to kind of use your creativity to kind of grow and flourish from that. It obviously can't be everything because, you know, as a healer, you just have so much that you know that spirit only aligns what you need to know at that moment. So when we're gonna here to talk about the root chakra, I do have to look at the notes because I have terrible ADHD and I am absolutely not medicated other than coffee. So if I don't, and I'm a Scorpio moon, so though it's great, I can get fixated on something. I could get fixated on looking forward instead of looking here. So just bear with me. So for the chakras, we're going to first talk about kind of like essential oils. So when you are doing your meditations, again, whatever you decide to do for you is going to be key. High vibes with herbs for chakra alignments is what we're going to kind of talk about. And then we're going to talk about essential oils that you can put on your chakras when you're doing a meditation or as you go through your day. Okay. I suggest you get your notepads and pens out. And I always, always, always recommend that you do these things yourself. Like, in other words, create these things yourself naturally. It allows you to work with what you're working with. You do not need to buy them. Okay. So, you don't need to buy anything from anyone else. What I'm going to say with that being said is, it honestly, you are able to manifest anything you want through going and getting what you need no matter where it is. So if you are medium to low income and you maybe just need to get things, let's just say you only have a Dollar Tree in your area, or you only have, oh, what's that place called? Like a grocery outlet or Dollar General. I think I've seen that store. I don't know what I think the dollar store is like $1.25 now. But regardless, you could also go online and go organic. Like couture your needs to what you need. Okay. Because it's interesting for me as an herbalist, which I'm one of those two. That's something I'm really strong at, and love. Because It's interesting that people sell these things, and I'm not and they push organic. However, they'll be the first people to throw, what is it, the Indian sea salt at you, which is literally pulled from an ocean of people in it. And as we know, dead matter is literally part of us. And so you're putting that back in your system, which actually is a way of transferring energy to a certain extent. So even the most highly intelligently seeming aware people that are out selling things, and quotation marking it because there are going to be true ones and there's going to be not. You don't need to decipher the difference. You need to get your hands on manifesting and creating through intent. You are the creator and the manifester of your life. No one else. I don't care if you buy the fanciest, danciest goddess thing that they recommend. That is not what makes you a goddess. The concept of contentment, understanding, regimen, and intent is what creates the energy flow. That is why when we go and buy something somewhere and we're like, we bring it home and it doesn't have that, that is why. Because there wasn't an intent. So when you go and get these things, like I'm going to go get, Yara, then I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to do this and I'm going to create this, or I'm going to go get a red candle, or I'm going to go get a white, or I'm going to go to the dollar store and buy all the chakra colors, melt the candles, and then let's just say maybe I have a mason jar at home, a little baby one, and I can melt those candles down, pour the waxes into my own layers, and make my own aura candles. That content, that intent, and that manifestation technique is going to be a lot more powerful, even though it doesn't ideally look like all that in a bag, of the fanciest, danciest things, is going to manifest you quicker than going and buying something online. Why? Because the universe works with exchanging energy and fluency. Purchasing is not really recognized. Now, if you need to, based on your circumstances and or allergies and or you don't have the time, that makes sense. However, again, it's all about going and taking the steps and making the trip to do it. It is not about whipping out your phone and going on Amazon or going to a website and purchasing it. It's not saying you're not going to intent. However, if someone is mass producing a product, there's absolutely no intent in it. Even if their intent is to create something that makes them a lot of money, again, you are manifesting them to create more money. You are not doing or creating things for yourself. That is why there are so many people and readers out there that are like, do not buy these products. Because essentially, it's up to you to make. Often enough, you can tell the difference between the people based on what they suggest you do. So they suggest only shop at the highest end places and this and this. There's a sign that they are functioning out of their 3D mind frame, which is most likely because they've started catering and shifting their spirituality to 3D matters. It's not our job to understand or care about the difference. It's our job to recognize they're very successful at what they do, but I've outgrown that. And I'm here now to get more proactive in my lifestyle and try to make these things for myself. Metaphysical stores are going to be where you need to go for a lot of the burning, cleansing, etc., as well as they are often going to have the herbs that you need. So maybe wildflowers. I know I get my cat's claw there. Mugglesworth, all of those things. Some things you can actually find in grocery stores, like bay leaves. You know what I mean? Salt and pepper, those kind of things. Again, you can use certain herbs based just solely on their coloring. However, I do recommend, because again, we're manifesting with intent, that you go and do just the Google work. And again, check at least 3 to 5 different people that recommend things, as well as investigate. Don't just listen to one and run with it. You need to investigate shit. That is part of living in a purpose of awareness and intent and making you in control of your life and lifestyle. So let's just say I'm doing root chakra work and I don't want to work with crystals because I need to walk around and the crystals will move, but I'm going to be at the house all day. Maybe I've already been using essential oils and, I'm ready to step up my game. You can make it a little bit colorful and you could start using actual herbs. For instance, paprika for red, cinnamon, mixing different ones and stuff like that. I like mixing cinnamon. Personally, when it comes to it as well, mixing with different ones, because cinnamon is a huge protector. So when you can mix cinnamon with a little, obviously you want to see the pureness of the color. Then what you can do is take those herbs, put a teeny bit of oil with them. I recommend sunflower or sweet almond if you're worried about sensitivities with regarding skin, and mark them on the actual chakras that you're needing to, that way it's going to be there. Obviously, do not wear your favorite color outfit when you do that. Okay. That's about stopping, being present, and being aware. Okay. It's also something you could do before you get in the bath. Then the herbs come off in the bath and the water shall cleanse you. For those that are worried about throat chakras, often enough, it's important to put herbs all over this part of your throat. Another thing is work on opening up your throat. When you are singing and releasing, right? Are you dropping your tongue? Ah, or are you going high? Ah. Whatever you're doing with that is going to kind of open up this area. There is an amazing singer on YouTube. I forget his name, but he talks, if you Google manifest throat chakra on YouTube, he should pull up. It's amazing because he's an actual singer that actually understands the concept of the throat chakra. I've listened to multiple of his videos. He encourages you to sing the ABCs. I did it in both low, they call it bass. I don't even know what they call it. Do not write. I'm not a singer. I'm a hairstylist and makeup artist. I'm all about beauty, self-care, and all of those things. Not singing. But with that being said, I practiced it because I felt like my throat chakra was totally closed, which it was for other reasons, okay? And he helped me to completely not only open it up, but by the end of the day, I could actually had a sore throat in areas that I didn't know it could be sore. Now, also, do not scream high pitch it because I do not want you to ruin your throat. And again, I'm not a singer. So again, do this within a way that you're comfortable with. Just because you do it, that is the manifesting intent. It has nothing to do with how well you do it. That will get more, stability over time. Okay. So when it comes to high vibes with herbs to use when you're working with chakra alignment or if you're going to have them around you, mix them together, put them on you, put them in your tub, put them in a water bottle. You can spray in your car, in your workspace, in your living space, whatever you need to do for you. However you meant all of the above, which is personally how I manifest. I can't guarantee with my insane lifestyle of busyness that I can remember these things always daily. So what I do is I tend to merge them in different ways of manifesting. So I don't really do altars. Instead, I do protective moon things, which are random things put in specific, it's not really random. It looks like random things, I think would be more accurate. Specific things for specific intents that are within a space, but I usually only pull them out when it has to do with moon cycles. However, they sit in that space and get stronger and stronger over time. And then what I do is I essentially put herbs on my food daily. So I stick with specific herbs that I know I can have daily on anything. As well as personally, I do work a lot with essential oils, and you can kind of put them in different contoured sprays, and spray them wherever you feel like it. So it's really helpful when it comes to lifestyle. The other thing that I'd recommend is that you look into, what was I gonna say? I just had a brain fart. It's okay. The third chakra was closing, so I knew someone doesn't want me talking about it, but I'm gonna, so we'll just wait for it to come back. Another thing that you can do if you want something that's like kind of a more instant gratification is start finding out feng shui, researching a little about that, purpose and intent. And then I personally recommend, I love and have always done lemons in the corner of the rooms. It's very interesting to find out the salt results you'll get. And then salts. I've always done black salt in the corner of my room. I'm not gonna lie, black salt is definitely something that you need to be very precarious with. Some people do not take it as the seriousness that it should be taken. uh Black salt essentially picks up very, 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 very toxic, ugly, I don't even know what to say, hexed, just very nasty, manifested negative energy that is somehow attached to people and or something. So with this being said, when you cleanse after using that, obviously you're putting it in a jar. You want to keep it away from animals and anything, and you don't really essentially want it to spill. And how you dispose of it is going to be very important. I personally would put it in a mason jar with a lid on, and then I'd throw away the mason jar when I was done. It's up to you. It does literally make a huge difference, and you will notice that if you do not get it all cleaned, the energy will still linger. There's your sign. Lemons are a lighter way. However, you have to keep them up more fluently. So what will happen is the lemon will actually start to rot and get old. That is a huge indicator that that corner and or space of the area, if it actually starts molding, there was a very negative vibe that it was protecting you from. It is essentially a person and or an energy that's attached to a person and or an energy period that essentially is killing itself over time. So it's not really flexing. There's something essentially that's burying that person. So let's just say if it's a person that only cares about work and they're a workaholic, well, they're burying themselves. Then you get the other type of fruit, which essentially looks totally normal. The fruit never looks like it gets raw, and then it gets like on the inside of it, you could shake it. That shows you where the light more is and the power is within the corner of your spaces. So we call those power corners because they're more protective elements. Those are obviously the elements that I'd recommend that you have more your sacred space and or more where you could sit and relax. But see how you can see how the energy works through all these different ways. And you can see why it gets so confusing. Finding what works for you is key. If you also want to take just lemons and put them in a jar, not a jar with a lid, just an open space, then I would recommend, I believe it's 7 lemons. However, again, if you're just a nasty person that stays in codependent relationships, like this would be so much like my ex who would just go and do it, yet they live and do coke and drug. It's just like a shit show, right? If you're in a shit show, actually, now that I think about it, both of my exes are now with coke addicts. It's kind of funny. If, obviously you can tell how tired I am, this is not the case for me. Never mind. If this is the case, these manifestations aren't going to work for these people. And they're not going to shift anything, no matter how much they try to say, oh, there's a difference in the energy. May they manifest and continue to do what they do and go in circles. Shifting away from that energy. So when it comes to boundaries, creating boundaries, herbs that I recommend for chakra alignment, if you are working with boundaries, yarrow is going to be one that I recommend for that. Again, I'm talking about these strongest herbs for these skills and or these regimens, routines, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I introduce these things in my daily life. Why? Because I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to go and do things like to create an experience. So I make sure that I'm manifesting 24/7 in anything that I do. Everything I put on my food, I've already thought about. Therefore, I'm already getting these elements, whether I choose them. That's essentially why I believe I'm able to manifest literally anything that I want. Okay. So the other thing is yarrow. Yarrow, when coming to boundaries, I want you to research and look into that herb. There are obviously going to be other herbs with that. So if you're working with boundaries, you also need to remember boundaries are something that you did wrong within childhood. This is one that I'm actually working with. Okay. So bay leaf would probably be one that I'd recommend as well. And we'll talk about that one later on because of the fact, right? Won't we? I want to see if I was right or wrong. Okay, I feel like I was right, but we'll see. And then I'm going to be like, why couldn't I find that a second ago? Bay leaf is another one because it's all about protection. Cat's claw is all about protection too. So if you have anyone doing spell work on you, hexes and stuff like that, cat's claw will protect you. There's a couple things you could do with it. Put it next to obviously a picture of you. If you have family on the other side, if you have a picture with you and them and you put that around it, it's cakewalk. Ain't nobody gonna be able to. Ain't nobody gonna bring me down. Anyways, moving on. Mugglesworth is going to be really great with connections. So if you're working on, let's just say I'm working on boundaries, I want to have boundaries within the connections that I have, okay? With that being the case, Mugglesworth is going to be something that you're going to burn to shift around the room, shift around, not burn the room, burn the Mugglesworth, and you'll be walking around with a cup of water in case anything happens, because we are very intelligent adults here and we are not doing childish things, okay? So again, you can use these herbs together or use them separate. So connection is going to be Mugglesworth. Boundaries is going to be yarrow. When it comes to prosperity, basil. So you can have a little basil plant within your house. You can grow it within yourself, meaning you can grow it and it becomes then a part of yourself. You become essentially a part of the plant. That's, again, when we build and create and grow things, it is totally Empress qualities. We're not going to go there. You had to skim through all my videos, and I hate to say it, but you're going to have to start watching the random ones because I have a lot of tips and things that I've done throughout this whole year. Not necessarily the sign readings. So the ones that are not regarding the signs, those videos have a lot to do with these kind of things. Okay, so basil is all about prosperity. Again, if you just start eating basil and you're in a toxic situation, nothing's gonna change. So if you're like, well, this doesn't work exactly, you don't change, so why is an herb gonna change? You're looking for that miracle, just like we're all looking for a miracle for you to change. No, let them go. Okay, so when it comes to sage, sage is all about purification, as well as moving and shifting energy. It also has the ability and does pick up dust cells. So when you move into a new space, an old space, or a consistent space, it is important to use it, okay? Obviously, making sure that all windows are open when you are doing this and manifesting is key. Otherwise, you're trapping the stagnant energy in the house. Now, the way sage works on a science level is very fascinating. It actually has little things, and the little things, I want to say uns, but I don't exactly remember, so I'm not going to say anything further. And they actually attach poticules, and they actually attach to the dust and the dirt that's in the house. That way, and the smell and all those little things that are unseen. That way, when you open your door, that's how it has the ability to push those things out with it, because it's then attached to it. Okay? Very cool, right? Very cool. Okay, so my dad taught me the science part of it. Okay, I knew it was purifying and stuff. But moving on from that, chamomile is all about happiness. Okay, so here's the deal. Chamomile's purpose is to calm you down. There's no caffeine. Okay, so if that's its purpose, to calm you down, to center you, let's bring it in. Okay, then if you are a person that, if I was to say, okay, we're done, you're retired today, you don't have to worry about anything, except for you can't spend more money than you already spend. Okay, I'm not, what would you do? If you're like, well, I don't know what I would do. Okay, chamomile tea's concept is to calm you down, to start thinking about how and what you want to manifest. Okay, the next thing we have is bay. Bay leaves is what we're talking about. And that's all for manifesting. It's also for protection. Bay leaf is a huge protecting herb. If you can cook it in everything, it's fine. Again, if you are negative and you do witchcraft on others and you think that you're going to use these things to protect yourself, you are absolutely insane. But may you continue to be insane, because you are who you are and your karma is what it is. But you can feel free to stay here and watch us, because we're adorable and we're everything that you're not. Moving on from that. So if we're working on manifesting anything, we could use bay leaf with any of these herbs, and it's going to intensify as well as protect the herbs. Does that mean that you don't need to continue to protect yourself in other ways? Absolutely not. Make sure, like for instance, I use my filters, because the whole concept is once you're thinking about it, it is able to. If you do not think about it, it becomes irrelevant. Therefore, it does not work. Okay? When it comes to healing, mint is what you're going to work on. So if we're manifesting healing, what would we use? Bay and mint. If we're manifesting boundaries, what would we use? Bay and yarrow. If we're manifesting connection, what would we use? Mugglesworth and bay. Do you see what I mean? If we're trying to manifest all of them and it is a new moon and we're trying to do a ritual, what are we going to do? Put all of them together. Okay? Like one little piece of all of them. Then I want you to kind of crumple them up if you can with your hand, or do whatever you need to do to make them teeny little things. Okay. Then go get a white candle, light the bitch up. Do not call it a bitch unless you're just sassy as fuck like me. And I mean, I'm a Scorpio moon, so I'm a reaper at night. So I mean, you can't get a lot darker than that shit. That's why telepathy doesn't really work on me unless I'm totally just what the fuck ever, because ultimately it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't really affect me as soon as, anyways, moving on from that. Okay, then all that would mean is you would light the candle. Once some of the white wax, which I personally love, the tall white candles, I think they have them at dollar stores, they have them at Safeways, they have them for anywhere you want to go, just the white ones. Because once you light it, it actually burns fairly fast and it allows some space. Start putting those herbs in, that clear, beautiful wax, and then watch those herbs go with it. It's showing light to manifest, and you're putting together whatever you were thinking about when you had each of those herbs. Again, so it all collides together. Now, all you have to think about is what the boundary is. So when you're like, I'm getting yarrow, and I'm gonna go, so I got my yarrow, that's your intent. So when you do this and you cut them all up together and then put them all together, you don't need to remember every single little thing. You just need to remember you're creating light to what you chose to manifest. That would be a new or full moon. Now with new or full moons, in order to truly actually manifest, in my personal opinion, you have to do at least 3 days of lighting that candle with those herbs in it. Okay, so you could do a candle of those a day, or you could have that one candle last 3 days and you light it every 3 days. Whatever you want to do. Maybe you do, personally, I just get 3 white candles. So when I cut the herbs, I can put a little in each of them. And then each of those days, I have a candle to leave on all day to manifest. Again, the cool thing is you can put your essential oils in there as well. It is a way of doing goddess work, moon work. And I'm a moon goddess, essentially. I mean, that's, the moon is what I tend to work with, okay? Balance of yin and yang, okay? Okay. That is often also why I tend to end up with fascinating situations, because they're just not balanced. It's not like I thank God, literally thank you, God, that I have actual bad picker. So here we go. When it comes to essential oils, okay, because we just talked about herbs. Now we're going to move on to essential oils. There's a lot more herbs you guys could be using, but I told you guys I have so much that I could tell you. It's unbelievable. But essential oils, let's just do these, okay? So for the root chakra, where's the root? I don't know, can you guys see me? The root is going to be right here. I don't know if you can see. So right on top of the butt. So if I was to look at a butt and then right here where it kind of goes in, that's going to be your root chakra, okay? Then right up here is going to be like the same as the belly button. So if I was to take this and bring it forward, it's same as belly. That's sacral chakra. These things you can find online. That's then you get solar plexus and then move on from that, okay? Those you will find online. Root, literally, it's where your butt tees, okay? The stem of all stems. Some of you could have back problems. Like I have a disc in my root chakra. What does that mean? A huge shift in trauma. Those are things you're going to have to work with. Does that mean you need to talk about it? No, stop talking about the bad things that have happened to you, except for sporadically. Because we're moving on, okay? Root chakra. What are we going to use? Rosemary is what we're going to recommend. It allows you to use discernment. So when you are trying to work with people from your past, loved ones, family, things of which you know there's trauma, okay? Rosemary is going to allow you to use good discernment within those ways of healing and or thinking and or treating those people. The thumb is often what they use within when you see them kind of using hand movements. I'm not going to talk about hands though because I want you to research that yourself. Okay? I just noticed that. So I started to say it, but I'm like, no. You should be doing that yourself and doing that research. Sacral chakra, I'm going to recommend that you practice using parsley, okay? Again, you can use these herbs in your food. It is up to you, okay? Parsley is an amazing, amazing protectant. Again, I'm just going to say actually parsley because I want you now to do your own research. Solar plexus, which is going to be lavender, which is what I'm going to recommend, herb that you use. The heart chakra is going to be vanilla. Okay. The throat chakra is going to be peppermint. Again, you can use eucalyptus, peppermint, anything that's going to allow you the pepperminty kind of concept. I personally would use peppermint, which then it would be like seal the people. The reason I would use specifically peppermint is it is specifically used for this. The other only thing that I would probably use would be, what is that one that tea tree, okay? Because of the fact that it's an antibacterial and fungal and it has a lot of other benefits. But do what you feel drawn to. We are all different, okay? Third eye, I would use lemongrass, okay? I do believe. I'm not even gonna do it. I can't do it reversed. So, crown would be thyme, okay? And Also, another one that you could use with your root chakra is going to be rosehip. I personally would use rose oil with all of these. So I put rose oil with the rosemary for my root chakra. I would do rose oil with the parsley for my sacral chakra. I would use rose oil with the lavender in my solar plexa. I would use rose oil with the vanilla for my heart chakra. I would use rose oil with the peppermint and or tea tree for my throat chakra. I would use rose oil with the lemongrass for my third eye. I would use rose oil with my thyme for my crown chakra. Okay? Now, if any of you are worried about protection in any way, whether you're protecting your space, yourself, your herbs, your candles, your teas, whatever you're manifesting in, tourmaline, granite, and clear smoky crystal, quartz, forget the crystal, it is a crystal, but quartz is what I'm going to recommend that you use. And obsidian. Okay? Obsidian is my favorite of all of them. I am obsessed with obsidian. Obsessed. And tourmaline, I believe that I should probably be running around with tourmaline in my pockets and river rocks. Okay? When it comes to dealing with anyone's energy outside of myself. Quartz is a beautiful one if you wear quartz necklaces, because like with a lot of quartz, you will literally feel like you are completely yourself, and any self-doubt that you've ever had, gone. Okay? It is that, you'll notice it right at the bat. Okay? But not a little pendant, I'm talking an all quartz necklace. Now, if you do notice that things break, herbs break and or crystals break, that shows you that what you're doing is wrong, what you did was a lie, and or you lied to someone regarding it, okay? Whatever it is, there's a reason it broke. It just doesn't break just because. You don't just by accident knock it. It was supposed to break. That's its whole purpose and concept. Just like sometimes when you'll see black within crystals, that is a hue of negative manifestation from someone else. Get rid of it. Dispose of it. In other words, what I personally do with those crystals that are manifesting negative energy, I put them in the river. Why? The river is too humble to be able to allow those energies to manifest in any sort of way. So just put it on the river. You're also showing thanks and giving crystals out there. And you're letting nature do its job. Okay. So the whole concept with the root chakra, when thinking and manifesting and working with, is I am. So it's all about red, passion, kicker, right? The sacral chakra is I feel, and the color is orange. Okay? The solar plexus chakra, I'm so sorry, is I do, yellow is the color. The heart chakra is I love, it is going to be green. The throat chakra is I speak, it is going to be blue. And the third eye chakra is I see, and it's going to be purple. Okay? Okay. I'm not doing that today. Okay. So we are done with this video. Yeah, we are totally done. Yeah. Everything else, I have a ton of other things to do. Something that should be coming out is tips for regimens, emotional times, and moon cycles. For me, it's a weekly focus, is for full and new moon manifestation. So like I said, when it comes to, I need to stand, sorry. When it comes to manifesting, if you focus on each life and each day with a day of intent, and you add these things to your normal lifestyle, you are naturally doing these things without actually having to do them in any sort of regimen or routine. So what does that mean? What that means essentially is the people that are like, it's a moon do your things. That is great. However, they will not be manifesting as swiftly as you will. Why? Because it's not becoming a part of their lifestyle. Focusing on allowing that to be a part of your lifestyle is inevitably, then it becomes so natural that you're doing it without even thinking about it. That is what I'm recommending, that you really kind of keep your eye on. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you guys. Bye. I hope you enjoyed.